All right, so here now is Republican Congressman Tony Wied of Wisconsin to react to all this. Congressman, there's a lot to break down. I want to talk about what's happening stateside, but I also want to talk about the news over the weekend. I mean, the president has repeatedly moved the deadline, right? So yesterday we saw the language ramp up a little bit, some profanity online. It was Easter. So your reaction?
Well, President Trump has said from the beginning he's acting on intelligence. And of course, Iran has been a bad actor for over 47 years. Every president or candidate for president has talked about the issues that we have with Iran, whether that's nuclear weapons, the capabilities of ballistics, and hitting our friends and allies and us, as well as, funding Hamas, Hezbollah, and other terrorist organizations. So the president acts decisively with the intelligence that he has, and he means business. I know he is very interested in negotiating, and I think that is in our best interest that this does end sooner than later. But certainly President Trump is deliberate and a very strong leader and definitely means business and really wants peace around the world.
You know, when you speak with your peers and even your constituents, there's obviously been an escalation, and the president has said over the weekend he could order the destruction of energy infrastructure, bridges. Do you feel as if he has support in that escalation, especially when you talk to other members?
Well, it's all about leverage, and certainly the president and can be unpredictable, and I think that's probably the best thing for foreign policy. But, I don't see many people or hear from many people that think that the regime in Iran for the last 47 years is a good thing to continue. They've wreaked havoc and killed so many people around the world. So, again, trust the president. I think he is the leader at the right time, willing to make these tough decisions in order to really bring about peace around the world.
Well, I agree with you. It's hard to find someone who's a fan of the regime, but we've been doing a ton of midterm coverage behind the scenes as we gear up for November, and we hear voters say, listen, it's summertime. We've got gas prices that are rising. There's a ripple effect, right? It's not just gas prices. It's the food that we eat. It's the clothes that we wear. Is there a concern that there could be a real monetary cost to this?
Well, there's no question that there is pain, and it really is in my hope that it is short-term pain, and I know that that is the same hope of President Trump in dealing with this. This isn't an either-or. We continue as House Republicans to focus on putting more money back into people's pockets, reducing regulations. I know there is short-term pain with gas prices. They're still lower than under President Biden, and no one said much during that administration as it related to gas prices. So we're going to continue to focus on affordability, on what's right for this country, while dealing with the threats around the globe. And here we have a president that is willing to do the tough work and make decisive actions. And again, it is in my hope that this is a sooner than later this conflict across the globe.
All right, let's switch to stateside now. When we talk about the partial government shutdown, there's not a funding deal in place. We have the Senate proposal, and we've heard from the Speaker, Mike Johnson. I'm curious to you, who's going to win on this one?
Well, I think for the American people to win, we need to fund Department of Homeland Security. And, when we see these, the House Republicans, we've done our job. We went through the appropriations process the correct way. And people need to be reminded that hasn't been done since the 90s. And so we fully funded the agencies. Now we have political theater from the leadership of the Democrat Party, whether that's Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, appealing to this radical far-left crazy ideology in the Democrat Party that wants to just defund immigration and custom enforcement and custom and border protection. These are the same agencies that President Obama used fully funded to deport millions of people without protest and without incident. This is very important, and it's very important to the American people that they are funded. That's why I'm glad we funded them, and we did it the correct way. Now we're going to move through the reconciliation process as really a way to work alone without Democrats, because Republicans want safer and secure streets, and that's what we're going to do, is go through the reconciliation process over the next few weeks and get this funded through 29.
So who are you looking to lead this? Who is taking the helm here? Mullen?
Well, ultimately, Republicans in the Senate and in the House need to lead through this reconciliation process to fund it, to fund the Department of Homeland Security, including Immigration, Custom Enforcement, and Custom and Border Protection, because Democrats do not want that funded. They do not want immigration funded or Customs and Border Protection funded. They want to go back to the radical ideology of the Biden administration of open borders and 20 million people crossing our border.
Well, and I know we hear from voters, man, they want those paychecks in place. And you and I both know that both sides, both chambers struggle with approval ratings. So I think they just want progress and they want to see action. So we hope we get that, sir. Congressman Tony Wied, thank you so much.
Thank you.